What's good, everyone? We're live. It's Friday. I ended up not doing my new setup to check for bugs. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go out of town with the dogs, go to the farm, and enjoy the weekend. And then next week I'll do the bug thing and see how that goes. And then I'll just randomly get somebody on, and people can just ask questions. And then if it goes to a shit show, okay, well, whatever. But they'll figure it out. So, yeah, I have to test it out just so I have confidence in using it. My new setup. I'll have a nice microphone. I'll have a better camera with lights, which is great. So that'll be fun. Hey there, Stefan Bullamore. Yep. How's it going, man? What's good, I should say. Today's Friday. So, where are you from again? Either Australia or UK, I'm going to say. I faintly remember. Oh, look at this. It's full of ice. I can get some water out of it. Oh, yeah, yesterday we did I did a session with two other people. It was three. Then it was Diane, Nathan, Angela. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a podcast where I interview or talk with people, just have conversations that haven't fully recovered yet. I want to talk to people that are going through the journey. So if you're a person that wants to be, on my podcast, send me an email. I'll put my email in the bottom, and we'll have a conversation, right? I'll have you on, because I think it's important to talk about the journey to recovery and not just talk with people that are recovered, which is great too. Like, of course, I'd like to do that because it gives people the motivation and the hope that they can recover too. But I think it's also important to talk with people that are going through it now, right? Near the beginning stage, the middle stage, and then, like near the end. It's good to see the whole process, because that's the meat and potatoes. It's the in-between shit, the hard shit. And when you get perspective with what everybody's dealing with, like for me, I try to give as much perspective as possible, because I've had a lot of symptoms. I had over 70 symptoms, a lot of mental alarms, physical alarms. And I try to cover as much as possible. But there's times where, things that I'm missing, that I'm forgetting. Because when you're recovered, you forget things. Because you've moved on. And when you tap into what other people are dealing with now, they're able to bring up things that, number one, I might have not dealt with at all. So, totally new perspective. Number two, things that I totally forgot about that they can shine the light on. And then I can go, oh yeah. And then, they tell their side, and I'll be like, you know what? I dealt with this, this. Yeah. It not only does it help them to move forward, but it also can help all my viewers, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm doing this because it's going to help people. And I think these are golden nuggets. So UK, all right, awesome. Watch that session. Yes, they are so good, mate. I'll be in your podcast. I think it would be beneficial talking to others dealing with this shit. Yeah, exactly. So, and I want to have all kinds of guests. I want to have, I'm excited about this shit because just having the conversation, because I can talk about this stuff all the time. And, the people that, my family, my friends, they don't really talk about this stuff because they've never been through it. So this gives me an opportunity to get it all out, right? I get it out with my YouTube channel here and there, but, I want to have conversations with people that are dealing with it. And I want to help people, as many people as possible. So, what ways can I help as many people as possible? Well, I've been researching this. Growing a community, a club that people can join. It's like a family, right? And guidance along the way to recovery, so you're not lost. So it's not like, here's a program, do it. And you got, videos of a person going, right? And then next video, and today we have to, it's so in not very personal. That's why I have the coaching group. They're very, everybody's supporting each other. That helps people stay on the path. And my regular videos where I try to talk about all the angles and getting as many guests on as I can. And then, checking in with the guests that I've had on already. Going, okay, well, last time we talked was 5 months ago. Where are you at? What are you dealing with now? Right? And people will see that it's hard. The whole process is hard, but it's a different hard. The bullshit you dealt with in the beginning is going to be different bullshit in the middle. So we'll tap into that, right? And that's what I'm going to call it, Tapped In. Yes, that's the name of my podcast, Tapped In by the Mindful Gardener. And it also has different meanings. It's also tapping into consciousness. So this is going to be mind, body, and spirit. And we're doing the whole thing. We're starting from scratch, and we're going to cover all the bases. So I'm excited about that. Yep. I feel like this is a newfound family. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Helmut from Sydney, Australia. Yes. So I got the UK, Australia. I'm noticing a lot of people from Australia. I love it. Never been there. I want to go. I want to go to the UK. I want to go everywhere, right? I want to go to everywhere in Europe. Finland, Ireland, Scotland, England, Germany, Austria, Norway, Greenland. I already said Iceland. Where else? Spain, France, Russia, Serbia, Croatia, Australia. Where else? Argentina. That'd be cool to see, right? The Yukon, northern Canada, Alaska would be nice to see. Oh yeah, I used to have those in my visuals. A lot of places of traveling, a lot of places where I want to visit. So what I was saying, yeah. So this is a family, a community, and I remember when I was tapping into my visuals, because I still do visuals, right? And then sometimes I go, can you send me golden nuggets of clarity, right? And how, what can I offer in my YouTube channel, the path that I'm going? Because sometimes, I have an idea of what I'm going to do. And they gave me like kind of like a little picture, of like a community. It kind of said like community, club, family. I'm like, okay. But the way they showed it to me, they showed me the picture that I identified as the Concordia Club. Because my family, my uncle was a part of the Concordia Club. It's a big club in Kitchener, Ontario. It's a German club. And I have a little bit of history in there. I was in the choir. My uncle, it was a part of his life for most of his life. And people who are part of the Concordia choir, that's the thing. They go there every week and they have friends from there. Everybody's like, involved in the same things, the food, the drink, the culture, everything. They belong somewhere. And then, so they sent me that in a picture in my mind, and it made sense right away. I got it. I'm like, okay, a place where you're, where you're all vibing the same way. You all have the same interests type of thing. And it brings you together. So that's what I want to focus on. Getting some guests, many guests as possible. Maybe be the Joe Rogan of, health, mental, physical health, brain retraining world, and the mind body space, and just bring awareness. Let people know you can recover. You don't have to go down these rabbit holes. You don't have to be stuck. You can get your life back and live a happy, fulfilling, thriving life. There are answers. So that's my goal. All right. If anybody has any questions, shoot, and I'll tackle them. Today I'm making Friday is usually my day where I cheat. Where well, every night I eat dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate. It's like my, like I love chocolate and I can't help it. So at night, during the day I eat pretty good, and at night I'll have a couple blocks of dark chocolate. But today's Friday, so I'm really like to enjoy a can of ginger ale, and I'm making spaghetti today. A big pot. I'm gonna have a big bowl of spaghetti with Parmesan cheese. I don't know if I have Parmesan, and I'm gonna eat the shit out of it. And then I'm gonna edit some videos and stuff. Maybe go on TikTok, get cozy because it's snowing. Here, I'll show you. Let's see if I can get. Well, it kind of calmed down, but yeah, here. It's getting there. It's there. Like earlier, it was snowing a lot. You can see that's called Top of the Rock. It's a nice area here. I love it because my dog can just run free. You can check out my my other videos where I talk about allow and engage. I'm taking the dogs out. This is where it is. And I like to come here once a week, but lately, the winter, busy, it's, once every 2 weeks. But it gives me that escape, right? That this is where I can really empty the bucket, because throughout the weeks it goes up a little bit, it goes down, right? Life hasn't been really throwing me that many curveballs, so I've been pretty regulated, pretty good. I haven't gotten sick this winter. So okay, we got some questions rolling in. I love it. Let's see here. Here we go. I'm gonna go down a little bit. All right. You don't know how much you helped me. Hey, EC. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Just keep going on the path. You will recover. Your life's gonna change. Trust me. Just keep going, and stick with it, man. You'll do it. Mia. You don't have to do anything. Actually, just believe that you are fine. Stop worrying. Awesome. Leanne Abby. Hi. Just started following you. Lexington, Kentucky. Ooh, nice. Beautiful. What's the weather down there like? Actually, everybody, let me know what's the weather where you are at. Right now, we're getting some flurries. We're sitting at like -4 here in Kitchener, Ontario. Hi, Helmut. Tina from Australia. Nice. I love it. Australia. Been taking your great advice from being a housebound. I have now driven my car 2 times in a week and walked 100 yards up and down the street a few times. Love it. That's how I started. Right after my surgery, I was bedridden. Like, I thought, okay, this takes time to, bowel surgery takes time to heal. Okay, a month goes by. I'm like, okay, is this normal to get worse? Why am I getting worse? This is not. I don't understand. My wife's like, okay, okay. When are you gonna start to? Okay, right? She was amazing, because she was like, every day she had like orange juice and my soup by my bed, and taking care of me. And then eventually, a month passed. I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting worse. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, it's weird. After the surgery, it didn't hit me like a ton of bricks right away. It was, and I noticed this because I've had a perfect storm a couple of years ago, 7 years ago. It wasn't as big as this one. This one was the shit show, big kahuna. I had one that also, it's like the eye of the storm, right? You're going through all this stress in your life. It was a toxic relationship, just stress, whatever. Eye of the storm, everything's quiet, right? Everything's like, and then, and that's what happened. All of a sudden, 70 symptoms hit. And then I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I went down rabbit holes, chasing symptoms, trying all kinds of protocols again. I'm like, I've been through this already, but this is 10 times worse. What's going on? I'll try the carnivore diet again. Didn't work. Tried fasting. Didn't work. Tried thousands of different supplements. Didn't work. Protocols didn't work. And then, yeah, I think it's because I asked, there was God or my higher self, consciousness. I need help. I need answers. And I got them. And my path was set pretty quickly, right? I had no answers for, I would say, 3 months from that perfect storm at that time. So because because I've been dealing with shit off and on, 5, 10 symptoms here and there for the past, 20 years, right? But I was still living life. But this time it was like, yo, you're bedridden, bro. You can't just, you can't live life. No, this is gonna we're gonna hit you hard. And I think sometimes you need that. You need to fall really, really hard. You got to have that surge of fear to finally do something about it and go all the way. Because, 7 years ago, I didn't know what was going on, though. See, I didn't know. That's the thing that a lot of these people that are dealing with, they just don't know. So they're chasing all these remedies that aren't the root cause, not the root fix. And that, what are you supposed to do if you don't know? You can't do shit. You can try. It usually makes things worse. So I found the answers by falling on my face over and over and over again. It was very hard, but I just kept going because I knew, I'm like, yeah, this is it. My gut feeling. I'm like, I know this is it. This is gonna be the path for me. And then I did it. And this is why I really want to help people to say, hey, stick to it. And you know what? The whole process, for me, it took me 2.5 years. For other people, it might take a year and a half. But I always say, stay on the path for 2 years, no matter what. Even though if you might be a guy that's only dealing with 2 or 3 symptoms, stay on the path for 2 or 3 years anyway, right? Because symptoms might fuck off around here, because that's your threshold. And then you're like, I'm just gonna stop. Fuck it. No. Keep going, and keep emptying, because you're gonna discover more things about yourself. You're gonna really learn this shit, right? Just keep going. Okay, I think I got a little sidetrack. Sometimes I just get passionate about this shit, and I get I go to left field. Yes. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Tina, what I was getting to, I was totally went left field. I was bedridden, and then I started to go, okay, my dog needed to go pee. She was a senior dog. And I was like, oh man, this is such a uphill battle. It's like, walking through lava in flip-flops. Really, like, I had chronic fatigue. I could barely do anything. So it started with me taking the dog outside and then around the bend, just around the bend, and then back in. That was a survival thing. I was like, okay, let's quickly get this done. Hurry up and pee. Oh, I'm freezing. Okay, you done peeing? Let's go inside. Do that 3 times. At first it was like a survival thing that I was doing. Okay, let's get this done. Survival, so I can be in my safe zone, right? And then eventually I started learning shit, and the dog wanted to go for walks, and I was like, okay, springtime started to happen. I started doing the program. My baseline started to come down, so I was able to leave the house, right? And I was trying to get uncomfortable. I was reacting to the sun, because springtime, the sun is hitting harder. So I started wearing a hat, wore a long sleeve t-shirt, and that's when I stuck to my routine every day. And it was difficult, right? Because I started walking around the bend. Then I eventually was able to walk around the block. Like, my senior dog was able to do more than me. And I think this is kind of funny, because my senior dog, it was weird. It's like the universe, my higher self consciousness, sent me an animal that was somewhat limited, but it was just enough what I needed for me to push me forward. Because if, let's say, I would have got, a puppy that was a collie, or a 1-year-old collie, I would have been able to do nothing, because it would have been like this. Like Dolly, this dog right here, and also this guy back there. They have so much energy. It's insane. And for me, I'm recovered to keep up. It's a challenge, and I love it. And that's why, one of the reasons why I have dogs. But anyway, my senior dog came to me. I think it was given to me to help me through my recovery, because I was forced to get out in nature every day, because this senior animal needed help, and I put myself aside to help this animal. and the animal helped me. Chloe, or was her name? We became best friends, and there was a bond. And she got me outside because I always wanted to go out with her, and that motivated me. Not to put my symptoms on a pedestal, not to go, oh shit, my chronic fatigue. Oh shit, I can't walk from here to there. Oh shit, oh shit. I tucked it in my routine. I go, we're going here, we're going here, we're going here. My dog needs to go here, needs to go there. She needs exercise. I'll just deal with it. Fuck it, whatever. And my catastrophizing what if thoughts kind of, they had no power anymore, because they would send, the thoughts would come, but I'd be like, oh yeah, whatever. Dog's got to pee. I got to do this. Everything was a war zone. Plus I was dealing with 70 symptoms. So I was able to accomplish my routine, and I would get better and better and better at it. And eventually there came a point where I was walking more than my dog. So I would walk her first, and then I would drop her off with my mom, and then I would continue with my walks. And I went from walking around the bend, right at the beginning of my journey, to fast forward 6 to 8 months later. I don't know, I think it was 6 months later, I was walking 10 kilometers a day. Right. And I was obsessed with my routine. Right. I was like, no, I can't miss my walk today. Like I was I loved I was never a guy that walked, ever. I was not a nature guy. I wasn't a dog guy. I was a lazy guy that went to work, was miserable, came home, binged watched TV, got my fat on, barbecued, enjoyed life maybe 4 out of 10. Was always cranky, went to bed, repeat times a million. That was my life. Now my life, I was doing things more. My journey, I was still ill, right? Technically, right? I was doing more things on my recovery journey than I was since I was probably all my life. Maybe since I was a teenager, I was bike riding with my friends and out playing soccer. Yeah, I was active. Okay. But, okay, I would say compared to my late teens, 19, 20, right? I was doing more while being sick than I was since my 20s. That's amazing. So yeah, just stick to it. Trust me, Tina, stick to it. You're doing great. I love it. 100 yards. Watch. Give it a couple months. You're gonna see. And you know what? You might not see it right away. That's the interesting thing. I didn't notice my wins until I looked back and went, wow, fuck, I'm moving forward really, really quick. The body's amazing. Sherry Morgan, what are your thoughts about recovery from pause? What's pause again? Binge eating disorder. Oh, well, I think a lot of the things that with food can have a lot to do with our limbic system being in a state of fight or flight, because the brain is in a survival state. It feels like it's in a famine state all the time, and it could pull back because it's a protective mechanism. You kind of keep them alive, so let's pull back a bit. And we have, I think a lot of people, I've been talking to this to one of my friends, I think most of the population has an eating disorder, right? People are obsessed with eating. People are obsessed with fasting, with food groups, the carnivore diet, the vegan diet. This is a whole different can of worms that, I should start a little series of videos about it, what I've experienced, and how I think it relates to, your baseline being at 1,000. I'm not an expert on this field. I just have some interesting thoughts about it, what I've noticed along my journey, how, it affects, I know it affects sensitivities because I had 2 safe foods and I would have crazy reactions, digestive issues. That I'm an expert at. But when it comes to, weight loss, I know a little bit, maybe from what I've experienced, but not enough for me to go, hey, blah, 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 blah. And this is still an area that I'm exploring, right? But I don't mind, like, we can have discussions about it and explore it together. All right. Leanne Abbey, cold and rainy. Would love it to snow here. Oh, really? Rainy. Nice. Let's see. Kentucky. So yeah, Leanne, you're in Kentucky. Is it humid down there? I think it is. But But at this time of the year, it should be cooler weather. It shouldn't be that humid. Sherry Morgan, psych med withdrawal. Yeah, had some major physical issues. Do you suggest riding them out or using other meds to cope? Thank you. So I don't usually like to talk about medications too much. I was on medications my first limbic crash, and I was able to get off it, and I was fine, right? But what I think is, in general, what I would do is treat it the same as everything else, because especially if you're on any of these Facebook groups, get off them, because they create a belief in your mind that you're injured, right? Or that you're damaged, and you're not damaged. The brain's just perceiving danger, right? Ideally, right? I always say this, always work with your doctor. This covers my ass. This covers your ass, because I don't want to be responsible for anything, right? But then again, people are like, well, if it wasn't for my doctor giving me on these fucking medications, I would have this fucking problem. Yeah, I 1000% agree with you. But I always say, work with your doctor and see if you can get on a plan to taper off, and then you'll know what mountain you're dealing with then, right? You're dealing with this mountain. Okay, I'm off the meds. Oh, it's a shit show. Okay, well, start working on bringing your baseline down and start working on emptying your bucket. You're not broken. You're not damaged, right? The limbic system's perceiving danger. All we got to do is regulate. And it takes time. So it's a big shit sandwich. We all got to take a bite, but I mean, work at it, keep on the path, right? With me, it was every second of the day was hell, 70 symptoms, OCD looping thoughts. Every 3 seconds, I didn't know how I was going to survive and live another 3 seconds. So, and I know people who've been through this, and they recovered. There's people that, for me, I was reacting on antibiotics, right? If you want to go down a rabbit hole, I'm sure if you go down Facebook and you just find these antibiotic groups, you'll find all kinds of nightmares of people that are damaged and, right, that are dealing with injuries and, right, you name it, whatever pharmaceutical, blah, 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 you'll find a whole world, right? Even with foods, you name it, any mold, Lyme, long COVID, blah, 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 blah. Watch a group in there, it'll bring you down these deep rabbit holes. So at the end of the day, put it all on the shelf and just stay on the path, and the fix is the same, right? The fix is the same. Don't worry so much on how you got here, and don't tell the story that you're damaged, right? Change your old behavior patterns, because we got to run a new program that says that you're not damaged, that you're fine. We just got to change the program. We got to turn off the alarms, right? And bring down the baseline and empty that bucket, and you'll get there. All right. Do you ever take meds from the UK, etc.? Are there first-time anxiety help offered? Acceptance is never discussed, and when mentioned to doctors, they just, yeah, I know. Like, my honest opinion, I don't understand how doctors can throw around medications at people for anxiety, because this is what I've noticed. Anxiety is alarms, right? Anxiety, intrusive thoughts, OCD looping thoughts. All it is a program to perceive danger. Your brain, you don't have a mental illness, right? We're being brainwashed to think that we're damaged or ill, but we're not. All it is a programming. And the program is not, and even then, people are like, yeah, it's running the wrong program. It's not. It's running the right program. It's actually doing what it's supposed to do. People are like, is it supposed to make me feel like shit? It's not that it's supposed to make you feel like shit, but what it's doing, it's sending you an alarm that makes you feel uncomfortable because it's perceiving danger. At the end of the day, it's just there to keep you alive, and it'll do anything to make sure that it does its job. So it doesn't care if you suffer. It'll throw on an alarm and ask questions later, right? So we're getting a lot of misinformation, and we just don't know. So what do? We trust the medical system, and we take the medications to hopefully, cope. And then for me, I'm like, I'd rather deal with it, overcome it, recover, than cope. and live a mediocre life, coping all the time, managing, coping, right? I don't want to do that. I want to overcome and thrive and be free of this shit. Be cured, but there's nothing to cure. Technically, there's nothing to cure because there's technically nothing wrong with you. It's just a programming to perceive danger. You're running a survival program, and the brain is doing its job. So yeah, I don't understand how all these doctors could go, okay, oh, like it's like almost like, oh, you're really happy today. Yeah, well, let's put medication. Let's give you medications to stop feeling that emotion. We don't like that emotion. I don't like that emotion, so let's stab it out of me. It doesn't make any sense. It's like you're trying to delete a feeling with medication. It just doesn't make any sense. So at the end of the day, it's a program that you can change. Thank you for all your help and guidance. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Sherry. Thanks everyone for the support, by the way. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And I'm working my best to, get more guests on and to really grow my channel so I can help more people. And it's crazy how all of a sudden, first I was going to build my cleaning business, and I've been doing that for a while. Before that, I was like, I might want to create a YouTube channel and help some people, but I want to take a break from that because I was doing the recovery for 3 years, and I was like, I want to put that on hold, and I want to live my life. I want to enjoy my life. I want to, be a little selfish because I've earned it. So I wanted to take a break from the whole mind-body thing, right? Because for a while I was like, oh, I'm going to do this, and help all these people. But then I was like, no. You know what? Take some time for yourself. Enjoy it. Create a business. I was like, I want to do something that's totally not mind-body. I'm going to go create a business. So I did that. And then I scheduled an interview with Dan. I was like, oh yeah, I still got to do that thing with Dan. I'll just do it. I'll just book it. And then he canceled a couple times. He had things come up. And, then finally we did it. And before we did it, I was like, okay, I'm going to post a couple videos just so that, if I get some traffic, then at least I can help people. So I think I made 5 videos. Did the thing with Dan. And all of a sudden, it's like I had an awakening. I'm like, no, this is what I want to do now. 1000%. It's like, it's interesting when you have a purpose in life, it kind of taps you on the shoulder and then you might ignore it, but it comes back. It's like, no, man, you're supposed to do this. Okay, I'll do this. You know what? Oh my God, I love this. So that's kind of what happened. So I started doing this December, and now it's all I want to do. So this is amazing. And I thank you guys for spreading the word, sharing, supporting me, just being there and being included in this community. Yep. Yes, my doctor wants on it, man. It seems like that's all they want to do is they go, oh yeah, you're dealing with anxiety. Well, we have great medications, and they're pill pushers, right? The only time, this is my honest opinion, this is my opinion, the only time I'd ever see a doctor or go to the hospital if it's an emergency, if I broke a leg, or if you need surgery, something's gonna explode or whatever, right? Something needs intervention now. Yes, then I go there. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Oh, right. Love them. Great. Oh, thanks. Oh, forever. But other than that, hell no. I'm gonna take care of myself. Thank you. I'll do it myself. And even the certain therapists, like it's very rare to find good therapists that are, number one, have been through it. Number two, actually know the right methods that will get you recovered and not get you to dig up shit and make you worse and put you on medications and keep you just coping. What's that all about? It seems like everywhere you go, everything's about coping. Nothing's about getting full answers, where, reversing something, getting answers, thriving. It seems like everything has got like this, like this hidden thing where I'm sorry, but you can't go through that door. Well, you can go through this door instead. Sorry. It's like, what's the catch here? It's a catch. Sorry, you can't. You can't go VIP. Sorry. Horseshit. Everyone says that carnivore diet cures all. Yeah, I was on the carnivore diet. And here's the thing. I did it for 4 months. Right. This was, when did I do this? I did this 5 years ago. And it was just one of those things I wanted to try. Whatever. Because I was dealing with a couple of symptoms. Right. And I was on it for 4 months. I felt amazing. Honestly, I felt amazing. My blood pressure came down. My moods were amazing. They regulated. My libido went up through the roof. My skin started to clear in weird ways. Like, you have like these skin imperfections from, life. All of a sudden they started coming off and peeling off, and my skin became like amazing. And what else? I needed less sleep. I had more strength. My brain was clear. Of course, I had weight loss, right? But the thing is, it's a coping mechanism at the end of the day. Just like fasting works for one person, carnivore diet works for, well, whatever. At the end of the day, as soon as you get off that diet, all the shit comes back. But what I realized is the reason why the carnivore diet works is the same reason what we're doing. We're actually going to the root issue. We're emptying our loads, bringing our baseline down. We're turning off alarms, right? We're allowing the body to catch up and to regulate so that when you get a flu or a cold, it's like, oh, that's easy. Oh, that's easy. You might feel 2% of that cold or whatever it is, right? Because your baseline is back to zero. You're working perfectly. The system is like, it's jiving. Everything's jiving, right? And then with the carnivore diet, right, when our bucket's kind of full, right? Any little load that you're putting on yourself makes you sensitive. So all of a sudden you're sensitive to all kinds of things, right? Because you're carrying these loads. But what the carnivore diet does, because eating puts major loads on you, right? And you're eating all these vegetables, you're eating all this junk food, you're eating all this, even different meats, everything. The feeding state and digestion takes a lot of work and effort. But if you're compromised, that's going to take a lot of energy, right? You're buffering already. You're working slow, and then you add in all this eating, fucking all this food. You're always in a feeding state, right? So when you're doing intermittent fasting and you're on a carnivore diet, the meat, it's the body can process meat really easily. You can digest it with ease, and the meat has all the nutrients that you need, right? It's a powerhouse full of nutrients. So you eat the meat and then nothing. Okay, that's it. Yeah, you just eat the meat, have some salt, water, and then the body's like, okay, we're done. What do we got? We have more time to do what? Oh, we'll heal this. We'll work on that. Let's bring some of the loads down, right? He's not feeding all the time. He's not putting extra loads on. He's already up to here with fucking loads. And he's finally taken a break from putting his body through all the stress from all these different foods, right? So it's keeping it simple. So all of a sudden you got a less load on your system. So the body is able to catch up. You start healing. You start regulating, just like we're doing with the program, the alarm system reset. It's the same shit. But if you get off the carnivore diet, all the shit comes back. So you have to stay on the carnivore diet. And that could be boring, right? It's like, oh, fuck, I want to eat some vegetables, man. I love broccoli. I love red peppers. I love fucking chips sometimes. I love ice cream, right? But for some people, if they eat that shit, they might get a flare or they might get skin issues or blah, 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 right? So you're supposed to be, but some people go, you're never supposed to eat ice cream or drink milk or eat fucking potato chips. That's not normal. You're not supposed to be eating nightshades because there's lectins in them. That's not normal. That's actually it's poison. Bullshit. Here's the thing. When you're regulated, when you're fully regulated, you can handle anything, right? It's not even an issue, right? You can be around mold. It won't affect you. Food, it's not the food. It's at the end of the day, it's not the food. But when you're compromised, the food becomes a problem. So people go, oh, it's the food, right? They blame the food when it's not the food, right? And people are like, well, why is it when I eat this tomato, I have a flare? And you're telling me it's not the food. Well, that's because it's the food's triggering a problem but it's not the food. If you're regulated, the food's no problem. It's okay, right? So that's why the carnivore diet seems to work, because it's a coping mechanism. But eventually, if you get off it because you want to eat other things, it's going to come back to problems. And with the alarm system reset, you're getting to the root issue. You're dropping all the loads. You're turning off alarms, right? And you're bringing your baseline down. And now you'll be able to eat those chips and be okay. This is the example that I give. If you were to compare a guy who's regulated, can technically thrive and live to be 104 years old, eating canned soup, having one Snickers bar a day, and smoking a cigar every fucking day, he'll live to be 104 years old. And you got the other guy who's obsessed with his health, taking every kind of supplement, on the carnivore diet, fasting, running 10 miles a day, and he'll be fucking dead at 60. See, at the end of the day, it's the stress loads that we hold in. And I don't like to say the word stress, because people go right away, they dismiss it, right? But it's the loads, it's the baseline, it's the alarms. And when your body's compromised and not working properly, something's got to give, right? So excited to start your program. I'm way better than I used to be, but still need some work. Oh, stick to it, Leanne. Stick to it for at least 2 to 5 years. Even if you're a person that doesn't need that long, keep going. You're right. My doctor had no idea about vestibular disorders. Sometimes I skip over the word because I don't want to trigger anybody too much. And it's hard not to trigger. Like, I try my best, right? Jill, I was put on 7 different 14 months, and they did nothing. Started my acceptance in September 23rd. It's hard as right? But better than Exactly. So, at the end of the day, we want to try to get off these medications with the, supervision of your doctor. And honestly, sometimes I think it's good to use the coping mechanisms if you need them, right? Like, there's some things, like some people get headaches and everything. They're like, okay, so do I stop taking my Advil or what? And I'm like, no, take your Advil for now. This is only temporary, just so that you can function enough to do the program to bring that baseline down. Because if you're handicapped with all these symptoms, and I'm saying don't use coping mechanism, it's going to be that extra hard for you to get into the zone of recovery, get into that rhythm, right? So if you have coping mechanisms in the beginning that helps you to get into that natural flow of recovery, take them. Fuck it, take them. Don't worry about it. It's not forever, right? Take them. You start doing the work, baseline comes down, then you notice, hey, I don't need that Tylenol or that Advil anymore. Oh, great, I graduated, right? So you graduated, and eventually you don't need that Advil anymore. Boom, done, right? And I think we should do that across the board with everything. This, even with pain, if you have certain pains, you need like a knee brace or an arm brace, or foods, right? I needed to have my safe foods for 1.5 years. If I started eating all my foods again, I would have re-traumatized my alarm system, and I would have gotten nowhere. Plus, I would have been in a constant flare. You got to ease into it. So I used my safe foods. I held on to those tight, right? For almost 1.5 years. Beef and rice. That's it. That's all I ate until I did enough work. I built enough leverage. I brought my baseline down enough, right? But emptied my bucket enough. So my bucket was like here, and then my baseline was at like 60% or 50%. The more you can do, the better. And then I started training on bringing back foods, and I was able to do it way easier than if my baseline was at 1,000, right? So yeah, if you have coping mechanisms, use them. If you got them, for now, it's temporary. Eventually, when you gain leverage and you graduate, we will slowly taper off all these coping mechanisms, right? you have UC. My system started right after I had a huge heartbreaking broke up with my ex. Oh yeah. Doctors don't believe this happened to me because of stress. I felt really lonely. Yeah, I know doctors are not. They go. They don't. They're like, yeah. Well, stress might have a little bit to do with it, but it's the bacteria. It's the biome. It's the. We don't really know what it is, right? If you Google it, they don't know what it is. They don't know what it is, and they say there is no cure. So if you don't know what it is, how do you know there's no cure? Because you don't fucking know. But they know they have lots of drugs to give you, right? And when you say mind body, they look at you like you're fucking stupid. Like they almost look annoyed. They're like, yeah, maybe, you should go for a walk. Yeah, go for a walk, but take these medications. Make sure you're on these medications for life, right? I had 70 symptoms. Every individual, if you put every symptom beside each other and you look at them individually, every one of those, the medical system says you cannot cure. They are for life, right? Anxiety, OCD, like UC, fucking, right? You fucking name it. If you were to Google them, they don't say, oh yeah, you can recover. Yeah, you'll be fine. No. Any doctor, in the medical field, they'll say, we don't know what it is, or we know what it is, but there's no cure. And let alone just one. Some people wrap their lives around just one symptom and can never get rid of it. And I did 70 because it's all about the misinformation. That's it. Once you have the information, you walk the path, you do the work, you reverse all kinds of things and you thrive and things recalibrate. Yep. I can so relate to you. Mine started with stress, developed into health anxiety. Oh, buddy. Then agoraphobia. Yeah, man, that was me. Then panic disorder, total shit show. Yeah, it makes shit shows jealous. Totally. We make the exorcisms jealous. That movie Exorcism, all the characters are like, whoa, snap, look at Helmut. No, I can't. Right? The demons are like, I can't. Bridget Riggs, animals are fabulous. Oh man. They are angels. When I run into people that say, I don't like dogs. I don't like you're fucking weird, man. Notice you're not saying right as much. Yeah. I know, me too, but either I'll say like or right or And I thought, you know what? I told myself, I said, you know what? If I say right, whatever. There could be worse things, right? Okay. Yes, carnivore channels have me all screwed up. Yeah, but you know what? It's fine. If you want to try it out, if it gives you a little relief so you can do the program, do it. Right? Use it as a coping mechanism. If it helps you calm some shit down a little bit so you can get some clarity and then, your head's above water for a bit. And we go, hi. Yeah, a little bit of clarity. Do it. Fuck it. Post-acute withdrawal syndrome. Oh, usually from benzo, right? Okay, withdrawal. Yeah, I've seen people fully recover. But the thing is, you got to get off the Facebook groups because they're creating your reality. And it's not just benzos. You see this with anything. Small, big, doesn't matter. If you believe it, you will create that reality and you will not recover because you believe you won't recover. Right? I remember going through this process and I took, because I was having pooping problems. And I took this supplement to make me poop. And I was stupid, whatever. I Googled it. And there was a whole 3 pages on Facebook. The nightmare shit that I read on there fucking put me through a loop for 1 month. Right? People were saying nightmare, like, I don't want to trigger anybody, but over a supplement, right? And there's mothers that are putting in a whole, what do you call that when they want to sue somebody? Anyway, there's this massive case of all these parents that are trying to sue the supplement company for this shit. And I was like, now I started feeling some of the symptoms that they were talking about fuck me up. At the end of the day, when you're sensitive, the brain's perceiving danger and you're, your state of fight or flight, things like that can affect you, right? Like mold does, supplements. I couldn't take supplements. I was reacting to all of them, right? So if you want to go down a rabbit hole, they will all fuck you up. right? It's not so much that well, no, this one's different, Helmut. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They are all individually. If you want to give them the power to rule your health, they can. So it's irrelevant what it is. Get off those Facebook groups because they have so much power over your reality. Get off them. If you have thoughts about them, you're like, no, I can't get this out of my mind. Okay, put it on the shelf. Do the work anyway, and you'll see how it regulates. And then after, you'll be like, wow, that's crazy how that got a hold of me. Yeah, it's like a sauna in the summer. Very humid here. Yeah, we get that here in Ontario too. Yes, exactly. With those groups 10 years off, and they are still sick and mad at the industry, emailing you for coaching. Okay, thank you. Awesome, Sherry. Oh yeah, by the way, April's approaching really quickly. If anybody wants to do group coaching, it's $100 a month. I do 2 sessions a week. If you want to do 1 or 2, it's up to you. Join. Right now we're having I'm averaging about 10 people, right? Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 10. So the classes aren't huge, which gives you more opportunity for quality coaching, because I'll be there. We're all supporting each other. We're all talking. Eventually, my groups will be bigger, but either way, it's a great experience. You're going to love it. It's fun, and it keeps you on the path. So yeah, anybody who was interested, I'm going to leave my email. Hopefully I don't forget later. I'll leave my email at the bottom, and join, right? Let's be a part of it. And if anybody wants to be a guest, email me. I'll make sure to write you down. And then when I get my podcast set up properly, I'll invite you. And we'll just shoot the shit, talk some shit, right? Let's talk about some. There's going to be some podcasts where I'm going to say, trigger alert. If you can't handle triggers, do not watch. And there'll be other ones where I'll be like, careful with the symptoms. But I want to have some shows where we full out talk about symptoms, because I am sure that there's some people out there that want to know, okay, is this blah, blah, blah? Is that, oh my God, he has what I have. Blah, 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 blah. So I want to kind of cater to everybody. And I will make sure that for people that are going through this journey that get triggered easily, I'll be like, you probably should not watch this. So no. And for you guys that want to know about symptoms, let's have a discussion. You find, so I'm going to try to cater to everybody. I find visuals hard. Any tips or tricks? Yeah. So with my program, we want to get out there and have 1 hour where you're having playtime, fun time, elevating, right? Because we want to bring that baseline down, right? And this also empties buckets and turns off alarms. And so the beginning, it's 1 hour a day, but eventually we're going to do 1 to 3 hours a day. And eventually you want to do it throughout the whole day. But in the beginning, it might be a lot. So it's really important that no matter what, you're like dancing, going out in nature, doing something that you prefer to do, and you bring all your alarms with you, right? Your mental alarms, your looping thoughts. You acknowledge them, you let them be there, let them do their thing. We don't resist them, we ask for more, and then we engage in life, and then we have some playtime, we have some fun, we elevate, right? That helps bring the baseline down. And if you're having problems with visuals in the beginning, I want you to still try doing them, and try doing this. Try maybe breaking them up, number 1. Number 2, if you notice, if you try to go back in time and it's all negative stuff, make them up. So what I used to do, I used to get my tablet. I would go into Nemo's Dreamscapes, and I would look for music from the 1930s or 50s, and I would create a reality like I'm going to a past life, and I'm going, okay, I'm living on a farm. I'm helping my dad. My mom is making a roast. My sister, she's 5. I'm 18. I go to high school. I play football. I have my license. I'm going to be buying my first car. I can't wait. We're going to a party on the week. Like, I create my own reality, and it's fucking magical. And the music's playing, and it makes you, get into it. So try that. Try creating them, right? And even if you're futures, if you can't get into a future one because you got too much doubt going, no, you're sick, blah, blah, blah. Create something in the future. Like it can be a fantasy. The point of it is you want to get your mind involved in imagination creation, so that you sit in dose dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, so that it pulls the baseline down. And eventually, when you pull the baseline down far enough, your memories will start to open up, because you're starting to get out of that survival state bit by bit, and it loosens up, and then your mind starts to flow easier, right? It's less of a cock blocker. And then visuals become easier. And then visuals become a time where you can't wait. You're looking forward. You love your visuals. You can't. This is like, oh man, for me, visuals is the best time of the day for me. I fucking love it. Plus, you're also tapping in to consciousness, and you're getting the golden nuggets of clarity, and you're working that spiritual muscle, like I always say. That's really important, because we want to get those golden nuggets of clarity. We want to tap into our spiritual side. We want to tap into our higher self, right? In the beginning, it's harder because the brain cock blocks you, because it's running a fight or flight program, and your spiritual, that gate is closed, right? It's very hard to reach it. So when we work on our physical alarm system, eventually things open up, right? It's like this glowing thing goes right. You tap into it, and this is real shit, man. I'm not even joking around. I'm not even, I'm being serious. This shit is real, man. So, with the visuals, right? Still try to, and if you notice that in the beginning, this is one of the things I want to change. If you're finding that, okay, no matter what, try 15 minutes. If you can't get in 15 minutes, take the rest 45 minutes and add them to your playtime. So you're doing playtime for 2 hours in the beginning. Eventually, when you're doing enough playtime, number one, and eventually when you're learning to allow, right? Because we're not resisting. Because when you resist, you're bringing your baseline up. When you're allowing the baseline to come down. So with that combination, if you're not strong with your visuals, you're still bringing your baseline down, because you're allowing, you're taking the resistance away. You're not fighting with your inner self. There's no battle anymore. So that allows it to calm down. And you're putting extra focus with being out in nature, doing things that you enjoy, that you prefer, elevating, dancing, right? You're doing that throughout the day. That brings your baseline down. And eventually your mind will open up, and then you'll get into the visuals and flow, right? So be patient. Some people can get into the visuals right away, and it's a struggle. For me, I had many days where my 1 hour was a waste of time. I kept getting sidetracked with other thoughts. I kept going, oh, fuck. Okay, no, focus, Helmut. Oh, focus. I can't focus. Like my mind kept going left field. And that's going to happen. But eventually, when we do all the pillars, we stay on the path. No matter what, stay on the path. Eventually, your mind's going to open up, and you will be able to do the visuals. And when you're able to create them, make them up, split them up throughout the day, right? And if that's still a problem, okay, still do them every day, but do 10 minutes. And with the rest of the time, put that time into your elevating and your playtime, fun time, and raising your vibration. Awesome. Yes, exactly. We are not broken. We are unique. Love it. Love it. This makes so much sense. Why binge eating causes an unpleasant feeling that keeps it hidden. Great point about the anxiety. Oh, thank you. You mean a lot to us, my friend. Oh, thank you very much. Stefan. It's Stephen or Stefan? I appreciate the support, everybody. I love you guys. This is awesome. Sherry Morgan, what are your thoughts on the medical keto diet to cute mental like I said about the carnivore diet? It's a coping mechanism. If you want to use it, do it, right? Just so you get some a little bit of relief, so that you can do the real work. The real work is changing that program, right? Keto diets, all these other, they're just coping mechanisms, right? And sometimes a keto diet or fasting can actually cause more of a stress response, right? Because you're being strict, right? You're doing certain things. Your body's transitioning from one form of energy to ketones. And that can also sometimes, in fasting, you're not eating, right? That could cause a stress response, which can make you feel worse. Believe it or not, right? It happens. It happened to me, where I'm like, oh, I'll just fucking fast it out. I'll just fucking carnivore it out. I'll just fucking, right? No, it didn't work. It made things worse, actually. Right? So some people it can help. Like years ago, 8 years ago, I wasn't with 70 symptoms. I wasn't as sensitive. So it was helping me, as a coping mechanism to get some relief. But I ended up getting to a point when I had my shit show storm that nothing was working. I was forced to find and figure out and get to the root issue. No more coping mechanisms. No more supplements. No more vitamin C. No magnesium. Fuck that shit. No. We're getting to the root, right? And that's what you have to do. You have to put in the work. You have to do it. And if some of these things work, use them if you need them. For now, it's just temporary. Yep. Bridget, antidepressants for 20 years, can't get off. Right. Always, if you can, talk with your doctor. But you know what? Do the program while you're doing this shit, and tell your doctor what you're doing. That you're doing a program. You're going to try to create neural pathways and hardwire happiness, and then be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll work with you. Okay, whatever. Just get out of my office and pay me, and then they'll work with you. You would be great on metabolic mind. What is that? What is metabolic mind? Can I say that 3 times fast? Metabolic mind. My metabolic mind. I can't. Let me write that down. Metabolic mind. Maybe I'll message them or something. Is that a band? No, Helmut. I'm guessing it's a YouTube channel. I don't know. Metabolic mind. Right now, the tomato sauce is simmering, and if I were to be doing this 3 years ago, that tomato sauce I would be perceiving it as fucking magma simmering. Now, fucking beautiful. Thank you, Sherry, for that. I'm gonna see what that's all about. You're the ultimate coach. Thank you, Tina. That's awesome. Doing visuals silently in my head can have the same effect, neural change, as doing it speaking loudly. I feel more emotions practicing it silently. Okay, Daria. Nice to meet you, Daria. The reason why I say speaking it out is because you're forcing yourself. When you speak something, it's forcing you to be 100% accountable when you do it, and it's forcing change. Because for me, especially when you got 70 symptoms, OCD, looping thoughts, it can hijack your thoughts really easily, right? And if you're thinking about, I'm going to pretend I'm thinking about going fishing. I'm gonna, what was I doing? Right? Like my mind wanders so much. But if I go 1978, I was born, but no, 1984, I went fishing with my dad. And my brain's starting to, went fishing with my dad, and he was wearing these blue shorts. Back then, everybody wore short shorts. Weird. Anyway, we had burritos that had cow tongue and cow brain. I didn't know that till after. But as a kid, I loved it. It was amazing. And my dad would put this little bell on the end of his fishing rod to tell if we were catching a fish, because he was cooking. He was barbecuing, plus drinking and playing guitar. Right? All these little details, right? They come in. And when I'm speaking them, it's like I'm watching a movie unfold in front of me. But if I do it silently, it's like a cloud, like I'm wishy-washy. Hey, but if it works for you, okay, but I wouldn't recommend it. I think speaking into it, and also I would record it. Because when you have a recording device, recording your visuals, it's, number one, you can save it and you can play it later. And you can also see, like, I had a whole separate folder with golden nuggets of clarity, because I would speak something and I go, oh, fuck, golden nugget of clarity, download. What the fuck was that? Oh my God. And I would rewind it and play it back and go, holy shit. And I'd write it down, right? It's like my study guide with visuals. You keep building leverage, more and more leverage. Because if you just think things, right, you're not really sure, it might work here and there, but you're not really building leverage. You're not standing on information and experiences, right? If I'm recording it and I'm speaking it and writing it down, going, oh yeah, that's a golden nugget. I'm gonna speak it. Okay, I'm gonna save that file under golden nugget, food, huge win, boom. And I might come back to that and build on that thought. So we like to build, right, on where was I a couple days ago? I was here. Let's build off that. Let's build, always building off, leverage, building off leverage. But if you're just casually thinking stuff, it's harder to build on that. I hope that makes sense. Zeus, zoology, Andy symbols is what doctor wants me to take to manage symptoms of long COVID. Really? Man, long COVID. Here's the thing. It's not COVID anymore. That's already passed. It's the after effects of the limbic system perceiving danger that's causing these. I got to do a long COVID video because it's time. I haven't had long COVID, but the signs are so clear, right? I've never had COVID yet. No, but I'll still make a video about it because I know what's going on, right? Plus, when you're in a community where every third person is there because of long COVID and they recover, you see the patterns. You see, right, long COVID, mold, Lyme, right? The usual suspects, right? You see the patterns and you know what's 1,000%. Because at the end of the day, it's not Lyme, it's not COVID, it's not mold, right? You're running a program of survival that's giving you these symptoms, and that's it. Oh, coping strategies keep rolling for big pharma. Yeah, exactly. You got it. It's making big pharma rich. That's the point. Even with therapists, at the end of the day, they're pill pushers. But there are some therapists like Michelle Kavanagh. Love her. Amazing. Follow her on Instagram if you can. Facebook, and I think she's on YouTube. She's one of the Dare people. I followed her, and she was my lifesaver because with OCD, she specializes in anxiety and shit. Amazing. And she's one of those therapists where you're like, man, you're like a unicorn. You get this shit. You're here to fucking help people recover and heal, not cope. Yeah, when you're in a body pain or fatigue, did you rest or push through and do more and allow and engage? Zoloft. Okay. I kept going, and I have setbacks, and I would, I had a schedule. In the beginning, I was easing in. Beginning, it was fucking hard, man. Walking from here to the kitchen felt like I just, ran 5 kilometers, right? Moving up 2 steps to bring a bag of groceries in felt like I was 90 and having a heart attack. And I was huffing. I felt like I was 500 pounds, right? And it felt like I just ran or worked out for 5 hours, lifting up a bag of groceries. I could lift a bag of groceries, not a problem. Yeah, here, right? But you get into your routine, you do the work. Yeah, you suffer. Yeah, you have the fucking flares. Yeah, you fucking fall on your face, but you keep going anyway, right? Because here's another thing I mentioned a lot. People avoid things because they're afraid of the consequence of doing something because, well, then I'll have a flare, right? And that's the danger part. People don't like the danger, the after effects. So if I walk from here to there, this consequence will happen. So I avoid, right? Eggshells, I avoid. And I'm teaching my brain that's dangerous. So it perceives danger and it keeps that alarm on. So you're going to keep that cycle going. So to avoid the danger of you walking here, to get this out of the equation, go towards the danger. Purposely crash over and over and over and over. Oh, look, that's not appropriate. Maybe it is. Crash purposely so that you're exposing yourself to the crash, because that's a scary result that we don't want. Well, if I do this tomorrow, I'm going to be in a crash. Okay, how do we get that resolved? It's your fear of the crash that's keeping the cycle going. So go towards the fear, which is the crash. Crash on purposely. right? So you expose yourself to the crash over and over again and your alarm, your fear alarm with exposure and sending the right response, not I'm surviving through white knuckling, right? It goes from a 10, 5, 4, 3, eventually to 1. You feel indifferent if you crash tomorrow. I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't care if it crashed tomorrow. I hope it crashed tomorrow. I hope it crashed on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I better be fucking crashing on Thursday and Friday especially. And if I don't, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to purposely trigger a crash, right? That's what I had to do. And that's what I had to do with my digestion too. Eventually, when I was ready, and I graduated to that level, I triggered a flare on purpose and I dragged that flare out as long as I could. And that's how I crossed that bridge. Right? So stick to your routine. Tuck these things into your routine so you don't put them on a pedestal. Right? You don't want to be like, oh, here we go. I'm going to crash. Oh, no, I'm going to go do this thing now. Oh, no, the anticipation, anxiety. The anticipation is what sets off the alarm. Right? It's like, oh, thank you. Let's leave that alarm on. Right? Instead, tuck it in to your routine. So it's like, oh, I just did that. Didn't really think about it. Oh, okay. If I have a flare or whatever, keep it all, generalize everything. If I have a flare of the food, the walking, the scent that I smelled, or right, it could be anything that could put you off the edge. So then I go off the edge. Okay. Generalize it. Make it easier on yourself. Don't overanalyze, right? Oh, I had the peanuts on Tuesday. So why am I having a delayed reaction? Or maybe it was the smell, or maybe because I was outside in that bush, I reacted to the bush. Maybe, right? That just keeps your baseline climbing, right? So go, whatever it is, okay, you're welcome. Allow it to be there. Run wild. Make it simple on yourself. Take away all that complicated exhaustion of overthinking and fighting and analyzing. Because when you do that, it finally has time to calm down and you become indifferent to it and you give yourself permission to finally fucking regulate. Sherry Morgan, I did the carnivore for 2 years, added carbs back now, and I'm back to wanting to binge. Ugh. Yeah. Well, it's difficult because we're surrounded by all these we're programmed. We're constantly being programmed with all the foods that we're around. Go to the grocery store, 99% of the food is garbage. You might be living with somebody who eats garbage all the time. So you're trying to eat healthy, right? You're trying to eat from the garden. You're trying to, the best you can, but you're constantly around it. And if you're a person that's, fasting, the brain's perceiving that you're in a survival state. And then if it sees food, it's going to take that opportunity to feed because you're teaching it that you're in a survival state and you're approaching a famine. So it's trying to conserve, right? And it's conserving these fat storage for you to burn for when that famine comes, and you're telling it there's a famine coming, but look at this cake in the fridge. And the brain's going, we got to feed right now. Let's go, right? But this would have worked maybe 1,000 years ago when there wasn't a fucking cake in the fridge, and you were actually dealing with a period where we didn't have abundance of food. So it was used as a survival mechanism, but people are using it as a diet, and I don't think that's right. But hey, what do I know? I'm not an expert at this shit. It's just my thought. Could be totally wrong. Who knows? I totally agree with you. Weird witch. Love it. You have so much wisdom. It's when you go through hell, you kind of know some shit about the hell that you went through. You're absolutely correct with the regulation. Yes. How did you find your safe foods? I think it just kind of happened. You figure it out. You still fall on your face, right? It took me a while I was like, okay, chicken and pork, and all the meats should be good. Rice, I thought breads were good. No, I reacted. So I kept reacting till I reacted less. And then beef, I was lucky with beef because I thought carnivore diet, right? Carnivore. So beef worked, no problem. Pork, I reacted. Chicken, I reacted, right? And going through this, I was able to see the loads of all different foods. I was able to see the impact of these loads, like the weight of every food, because I was sensitive to everything. So I could almost see through them, go, oh, this food has this much of a load factor. This food has this much load factor. Oh, this food, right? it was interesting because like my body became a detector of loads. So I got to see shit that normally I wouldn't be able to see. Okay, I found intermittent fasting super helpful. Awesome. For calming my anxiety around food and eating, blah, 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 turn helping me. You know, I really wish when I do these in the future with my podcast, the comments are going to start to show. I don't think these are going to show when I post this. So people are going to hear me talking and they'll be like, why is he going blah, 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 blah? What does that mean? Why is he saying, I don't know what he means. So hopefully people kind of, fill in the blanks. Try menopause groups. Oh my God. Yeah. No shit. Man, any antibiotic groups, don't do it. Do not do it. It's the worst. Menopause groups are the worst. Yeah. Thank you. Love it. Yes, indeed, they are. Blah, blah, blah. Reddit groups are also toxic. Yes. And yeah, any groups, forget it, man. They just create a reality that is not true. And some of these people are so brainwashed that if you talk about recovery, they'll ban you. They'll fucking get so angry because they've been stuck through this shit for 30 years. And they're like, no, who's this guy? No, get him off. No, and they become fucking really mean. They're mean Karens. And I'm like, okay, well, I've told them, a couple of them, I'm like, if you don't want to recover, that's fine, but don't bring all these other people with you. That's on you. You're deciding to go out on a limb and go, I'm deciding to affect everybody in this group. Some of these groups have like 40,000 people. And some of these moderators and the regulars are on there like, actually, I'm deciding that everybody's going to live this reality with me. And when they're doing that, whether they know it or not, they're inadvertently keeping people sick. You know how many lives that affects? You know how fucking crazy that is? How deep that is? And cutting somebody out that's actually giving them the key. Here's the key. No, we're going to make everybody... I'm choosing to keep everybody sick. Get out of here. That's like 40,000 people in one group, 8,000 in another group. It's insane how many people are in these groups. And, oh yeah, I got kicked out of so many. It's crazy. Shit, I got a lot. Oh, fuck, I got a lot of comments. Okay, I'll try to get through these quick. Okay, because that sauce is going to that's going to be fine. It'll be fine. Thank you for trying those ideas. Awesome. What do you do if nothing brings you joy and fun? Oh, trust me. That's the beginning. That's how it goes. You're in a survival state. You're not going to be happy. No, because if you were, it wouldn't be doing its job. Give it time. Stick on the path. The noise will calm down. The alarms will turn off. And eventually, you're going to be like, is this happiness? I feel good. You get a peek of it. Trust me, it'll come. I find listening while it's out in nature. So yes, the nature. Oh, you see a cardinal on your left. You see especially when it starts snowing, the snowflakes are so gentle. Everything's calm. Nobody's around. Everybody's inside, right? So you got the whole environment to yourself. It's just you and your dogs. Quiet, peace. That for me is heaven. And I would have never experienced this unless I got sick. Do you have a PayPal so we can send a super chat? I have no idea what super chat is. Yes, I do have a PayPal. I have if you go into my about, there's a thing there you can pay for a coffee or something. You know what? I'm gonna look in the super chat because I have no idea what that is. I'm gonna binge watch super chats tonight on YouTube. Awesome. Steven, but with a PH. What was that? Okay. Rebecca, I have symptoms that is always there, never moves. Yeah, that's normal. It spreads, but the one area is always there, even when I'm having fun or sleeping. Is that that's the most? Yeah, don't worry. I had like 5 of them that were constant that stayed around right to the end of my recovery, and this is doing the right methods for 2.5 years, second by second, hour by hour, week to week, month to month. 5 of them that were fucking relentless. And then I had all the other, 60, 70 that were moving around and torturing me like a menu with a lot of variety throughout the days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, it was, and then it was Friday was like, yay, right? But while I was going through for this one, I still had the usual suspects hanging out. So don't worry, this is normal. Eventually they will break. They're fucking relentless. They're stubborn, but it's you know what it is? It's when you are okay with them being there and actually demanding them to be there for another 2 years. Like if you were to ask yourself, am I okay with this symptom to be here for another 5 years? And if that makes you depressed and sad and triggers you and makes you go, ah, then you're not there yet, right? When you get to a point when you're like, I'm living life, and you know what? I'm okay if you stay for another 5 years. Actually, I prefer it. If you can actually say that and feel that authentically, that's when your baseline's low enough, usually, and your alarms are off and your bucket's empty, and it will go as a consequence. And it'll lift. And you know what? 3 months later, you'll be like, shit, that symptom's gone. I didn't even notice that. That's how it always works. It goes and you don't even notice it. And the fact that you didn't notice it proves to you that you were so indifferent to it that that's why it lifted. Oh man, today's a good session. Love it. An hour and 20 minutes. Love it. Okay. Even the word tomato completely unhinges me. Yes, it was like magma. The thought of, I'm like, how do people consume this acidic food? And how does it not put a hole in somebody's fucking abdomen? How does it not go, right? I don't know. And I made tons of progress on my own, but still a long way. Yeah, of course. People, here's another thing. Don't measure your success on the amount of symptoms that you have. Like for me, I had symptoms that got worse right at the end, and then recovery happened. So do not measure progress on what symptoms or the amount of symptoms that you have. That's all smokes and mirrors. And people think, well, what the fuck, man? I got 5 more symptoms? This shit ain't working. No. That doesn't matter. That's smokes and mirrors, right? The fact that you're getting more symptoms or it's getting worse at times, and it's difficult, and you're getting resistance means that you're actually doing the work. For me, in the beginning, I started getting my physical symptoms started to go one by one. I was like, oh yeah, this is fucking. And then my anxiety, intrusive thoughts, OCD, looping thoughts skyrocketed, and that lasted right up to the end. It fucking went harder and worse and worse and worse. It was a fucking crazy battle right up to the end. Then it left. So yeah, this journey is not about relief. Sure, you will see some evidence of it here and there. Physical symptoms here will go, but it's more about learning, experiencing, trusting, staying on the path. You're earning it. You're learning, and then it regulates and goes. So you grow in stages, right? So just as long as you know that, you will get there and you will recover, and these symptoms will be fucking gone, cured, fucking gone. Okay, Daria, long COVID is a new label. Yeah, they don't know what it is and what to do with it. Better not to identify with it. It's maladaptive stress. That's all it is. You got it, Daria. Right? People get the labels and they go down these rabbit holes and they create the reality and it stays. Right? When it's just, you got to regulate. You got to regulate. Sherry Morgan, I have major digestive issues and it got even worse lately. How do you deal with these symptoms? Well, try to stick with, if you have any safe foods, stick with that, right? And be patient. Don't worry about working on foods yet. For me, I didn't start working on foods for a year and a half. And I just did the program, right? I'm sure you got other symptoms you can work on, right? Do the program, bring your baseline down, work on that, because that takes time. This shit fucking takes time. So it took me 2.5 years before I was able to eat all the foods. So it takes time. Use your coping safe foods. Use your safe foods for now. Don't worry so much about getting foods back. Put that on the shelf for now. Work on other things. Work on bringing your baseline down, your visuals and everything. And eventually you will get to a point where, okay, now's the time for me to work on foods. I can't believe I'm clapping and talking. I can't believe that's awesome. Right? Now's the time to work on foods. And then it'll become so much easier, and you'll get the clarity, and you'll be like, oh, interesting. And then the foods will come in and out, shit show, up and down. Oh my God, I can eat this. Oh my God, I can't eat that. Oh my God, I can eat this. Oh my God, what the, right? You're going to go through that shit too. And eventually it'll stay where you can eat all the foods. You're fucking cured. Oh my God, I'm cured. Oh my God, right? That's going to happen. Don't worry. Rebecca, this week I joined a gym and worked 44 days and all symptoms. Worked out 44 days with, And the worst part was when my husband collected me and we went shopping, stepping into the supermarket, and the exorcism started. Oh, the supermarket, love it. It's like a war zone. Going to the beach was a war zone. Anywhere there was people, a lot of complicated noises and shit, war zone. And it's even harder because you're in the middle of the super, like before you get to the middle, you're like, okay, there's the exit door, there's the entrance. It's right there. You can always go back. Oh shit, I'm halfway through there. Now I'm surviving. So you're surviving yourself through the end of the process of the grocery store, right? And what we want to do is we want to start to learn with repetition, not to survive through it, to learn to feel uncomfortable, to learn to feel scared while doing this, and actually to drag it out a bit. Because when you do that, you're doing the hard work for the long run. Trust me, it's going to pay off later, right? But don't survive. Don't white knuckle. Open it up. I know you feel like shit right now when you do that, but eventually you're teaching your brain that this is not an alarm anymore, and you will get relief later. Thank you so much for your thoughts on food. Yep, I'm trying to fasting. You nailed it. That's when all the digestive issues and binge compulsive came back. Yeah. Yeah. I have some videos about my food sensitivities. Watch them. Do my program, and trust me, you'll regulate. You'll be normal again. Is soreness or tense muscles can be a result of constant chemical activation, cortisol, blah, 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 fight or flight? Yes. Man, I said one of the 5 muscles. Muscle pain was one of the last things to go because your muscles react according to what's going on here. So if you're dealing with some sort of stress, they tense. Pain. Eventually, when they tense up so long, I should have had a 6-pack. Yeah, I mentioned this before. I should have had a 6-pack, but the muscles, you can't force yourself to relax the muscles. You can go, okay, breathe, and your stomach will go like this, and you'll feel a little bit of relief. But forcing yourself doesn't work. The best way to do it is allow it to be there, let it do its thing, do the program, right? And in time, when you change that program, the muscles will have no reason to tense up. And the pains all the complicated pains as a result of muscles tensioning will lift and you'll be fine. Because of my muscles, I had pelvic floor pain. I had issues pooping. It got complicated, but I regulated all of that because I found the knowledge and I stuck with the program, and eventually everything regulated, and that's it. It lifts, it melts away, gone. So don't try to calm down your muscles or regulate your nervous system. It will go when it wants to, when it's ready. So just trust me, just follow the path and it will regulate. It'll get out of that stress response. It was so we can send you instant money and send the chat right to you from. Oh, okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I got to look into that. Super chat. Thanks, Sherry. Thank you, Rebecca Chu. Sam, I get overstimulated and start running on adrenaline. Yeah, me too, man. Everything was adrenaline. As soon as I start having a conversation with someone, and if I do it too long, I end up with wired and get insomnia racing. Oh man, me too. Should I push? For what I would say is do what you can. If you know you're pushing too much, ease off of it, right? For me, if I talk to somebody on the phone after 15 minutes, my voice would cut out and my voice would go shaky and thin. Shit, you know what? I haven't done a video about shaky voice, did I? Let's see. Oh man, my voice was brutal. And I was running off adrenaline. I couldn't watch TV or watch a soccer game or watch anything walking by the television or hear the news or anything. It would just boom trigger me, and I was in an adrenaline rush, and it was hard to sleep. It was, but do the methods that will all regulate, and you'll be able to talk for hours. Not that you want to, but Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, Zeus. Thank you. So helpful. Thanks, Weird Witch. Stephen, thanks, Helmut. Look forward to speaking to you and others. I've emailed you to join coaching in April. Awesome. Thank you very much. I have shaky, thin voice too. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. And my hands were always like, I used to do body checking every day. I was like, how are my hands? Fuck it. Right. And eventually it was like, yeah. Fuck. Oh, yeah. Now it's like, I'm fucking chill like ice. Thank you so much, Helmut. I found you from the comments on the vegetable police. No way, vegetable police. Yeah, I tried getting through vegetable police a couple of times, but he deletes my comments. He's got this filter on there. It's too bad because I wanted to help him, right? Because he's just chasing symptoms. He's chasing these diets. He's like, I heard his mom passed away. So we know when that happens, things like that, events in our life that are devastating, he's going to get an uptick of symptoms, guarantee you. And he's not going to, what the fuck's going on? Is carnivore diet's not working? Watch, he's going to jump ship to some other fucking coping mechanism. I get stress, sweat. I get stress sweat. Yeah, oh fuck. Rebecca Chu, I hope to join too. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. You too. And I'm going to have these every week, either Thursday next week or Friday. I'm not sure. I got to test out my setup and work out the bugs. Yeah, I could barely eat. I shook so bad for years. Yep. It's better now for my own recovery effort. I love Casey Vegetable Police too. Yeah, he's funny. He's Canadian. He lives probably about an hour away from me. Yeah, Casey has tried everything. The thing is, he tried what I was on the same bandwagon as him for a while. I was like, yeah, totally. No, I don't know, man. Yeah. Like he'd be like, yeah, but my skin feels, I feel really good, but then my brain, I get this right. He's totally down these rabbit holes. I was there. I've been there. Now we know the answer, right? You guys are too. You guys are going on this path, right? And you guys are learning this shit. And not many people know about this stuff. It's like a secret cult, right? So, man, this is a gift. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off, but thanks for supporting me. If you know anybody who needs help, send them to my channel. Share, like, and subscribe. And what else? Yeah, if you want any coaching for April, send me an email. And yeah, thanks for the support, and I love you guys. Awesome. He has OCD? I think Casey has food OCD. Oh yeah, fuck. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, have a good weekend, guys. Love you.